I'm starting out with some scrap wood from my garage and ripping the boards down to make them a little bit more narrow. I ended up with two pieces that are 13 inches by 3 inches and one 11-inch by 3 inch. And then I'm taking these even skinnier wood pieces. These are scraps from when my husband makes his flags, and I'm going to cut them down to be the brim of my snowman's hat. A square dowel would work just as well. Using my wood glue, hot glue, I'm adding the wood pieces on at an angle. Now we can paint. I'm using ivory for the body and black for the hat, using a small detail brush for the brim where it meets the body. Now I probably could have painted the brim before gluing it down, but apparently I didn't think about that. Next, I'm going to work on their noses, and I knew I wanted to use air dry clay for this. I have this Crafter's Square terracotta color clay from the Dollar Tree, and as soon as I opened it, I knew it was not going to work. The clay was super dry and crumbly. It would not smooth out. So I looked at the directions and it said you could add water to smooth it out. So I dipped my finger in water and added a tiny little bit at a time. That did help to smooth the clay, but I was not confident this was going to look good once it dried. So I also have this tub of Crayola terracotta air dry clay, and right away this looked much smoother. So I took a small amount of clay and rolled it into a ball with the palm of my hands, then started rolling it out like a snake. And I pressed one end of the snake against the table to flatten it and continued to roll out the other end to form a cone shape. And once I had my cone shape, I bent it a little bit to look more authentic, like a carrot. And here you can see how the Dollar Tree clay dried compared to Crayola, which turned out much better. While Crayola is not my favorite type of air dry clay, the terracotta one actually looks really nice. To add the clay noses, I found the center of my snowman, which was 1.5 inches, and then added a dot of my Starbond super glue and dried it with the accelerator. I do have this product linked in my description box. It is my favorite type of glue when you need a strong hold and don't want to wait for the dry time like E6000. Next, I'm taking this fabric quarter that I got from Walmart to make a scarf. I folded the fabric over 1/2 inch and used my hot glue to secure it down. This way the pattern will show on both sides of my scarf. And then using my rotary cutter and an L roller as a guide, I cut right along the edge. It made 3 scarves just like this, then tied them around my snowman using hot glue to tack it down where needed. Now the snowmen are complete, but the Pinterest inspiration had them sitting in a bucket. I've had this Dollar Tree galvanized bucket on hand and removed the twine. I'm not going to use the twine today, but did hold on to it for a future project. The galvanized tin does not exactly go with my decor, so I'm using some spray paint to change it. I used antique brass, hammered burnished amber, and hammered black, just misting them lightly over the bucket and layered each color while it was still wet. And I love the rich color this turned out using that technique. Next, I'm taking this faux fur ribbon I got on clearance last year after Christmas. That's when you can find some of the best deals. And I hot glued it around the top of the bucket, allowing half of the ribbon to stick out above the bucket, and then folded it inside for a cozy vibe. Now, my version is a lot less rustic than the Pinterest one, so this is more inspired by it than a dupe, but what do you guys think? Today I'm participating in my friend Brandy's series, Duping Through the Holidays, where each week there's a different retailer we will use to recreate or dupe their decor. While this is a month-long series, not everyone will participate every week. However, there will be a full playlist with all of the videos from the entire series linked in my description box. In addition to all of the amazing inspiration you will find all month long, there is a weekly giveaway as well. For a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card, listen for my mystery question and answer it in the comments. Make sure you answer each creator's question who participated this week for Pinterest, and the winner will be selected on Wednesday, December 1st. Good luck! This is a fence post that was in the 70% off section of Home Depot. I'm assuming because it has like gouges taken out of the wood. So I got it 70% off, and we are going to cut this guy down into houses. I'm sorry my shoulder is completely in the way here, but I'm just measuring how tall I want my houses to be from the base to the peak of the roof. And I ended up getting this $20 fence post for only $2 from that 70% off section at Home Depot. Such a great deal. To cut them down, I'm using the big monster chop saw. And after I have my 6 blocks, I need to change the angle of my saw blade to cut the roofs. I did a few of them at 45 degrees and a few at 30 degrees. Since these wood blocks are pretty small, I didn't want to hold them, so instead I grabbed a clamp to hold the block against the saw fence, and then I can safely cut the angles for the roof. This saw creates so much dust. I wish I had a dust collector, but R2D2 will have to work for now to clean up. Next, we need to sand everything down, and since this fence post was so rough, I used my orbital sander with an 80 grit paper. After the houses are pretty smooth, I'm going to paint them. 2 I painted with my favorite fawn color right now, watered down. 2 I watered down a white for a whitewash, and then 2 are solid black. Now I'm going to add holes into the roof for my chimney using my 7/8 inch spade bit. I needed the hole to be at an angle, and I found the easiest way to do this is to go in straight to start and then gently raise your arm while you're still drilling to create the angle for the chimney so it's straight up and down. Then using this 3/4 of an inch copper pipe I had left over from the last candlestick holder I made, I will link that video if you haven't seen it. I'm going to take my pipe cutter and cut this down for the chimneys. All that's left to do is add the candles. So here's the Pinterest version and mine. I love how minimal and modern these look. I want to remind you I will be going live for a Christmas craft with me next Friday, December 3rd. Not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous about this, so I really hope that everything goes well. I'll be using various Christmas napkins to decoupage with, and I do have napkin bundles listed on my website. If you missed the announcement video, I will link that in my description box and on the cards above. Here are a few of the supplies I will be using in the video as well, so feel free to craft along with me or just hang out while I craft and give me some advice along the way. I hope to see you there. For this project, I picked up 3 furring strips from Home Depot. You can get these untreated, which are a bit rougher and need sanded, for only $1.78 a piece for a 1x2 by 8 foot piece of wood. Or you can get them treated for $2.48 a piece. The treated wood is a lot smoother and would not require additional sanding. The one on the right is untreated, and I decided to go with this one. We're making a tree, so I need to cut the strips down. I cut 3 of each measurement on the screen so the tree would taper from largest to smallest. And once all of the wood was cut, I had to sand it down again. This time I only needed the palm sander, which is less aggressive than the orbital sander. Now I have all my wood cut, sanded, and then we're going to stain it with this Valspar antiquing glaze. I really love the weathered look that this gives to wood, especially like this real light wood like this. It has a really, really pretty weathered, distressed look, and that's what I'm going for with this tree. And I'm gonna just use some baby wipes to apply it. After my wood was stained, I let it dry for 24 hours and then cut a base for the tree. I probably should have cut and stained this with the rest of my wood, but didn't think about that at the time. Shocking, I know. Now I need to find the center of my wood base and drill a hole for a dowel to fit into. If you're not sure what size dowel you have or what size hole you need to make, Take the dowel and hold it up against different drill bits or spade bits. I had my spade bits next to me, so that's what I used. But you want to pick the size that is the same or slightly larger than your dowel. Next, I drilled a hole not all the way through, but about 3/4 of the way. Then I filled the hole with the wood glue, hot glue, added the dowel, and then added a brad nail to the bottom. A screw probably would have been better. This worked fine, but I am worried about how heavy it ended up being and would definitely recommend a screw. Now I need to find the center and drill a hole in all of my cut and stained furring strips. My mystery question is, what is your favorite dessert? Mine is tiramisu, and oh my goodness, I make a killer tiramisu. Let me know what is your favorite below. This next part was a little difficult to film, and I ended up changing my mind after I put it all together, but I started adding my wood pieces onto the dowel, starting with the longest pieces and turning them so they were not all in a straight row. The original Pinterest inspiration image had smaller wood pieces in between the longer ones, so I started adding those in. This is what I ended up changing. I think I would have needed more of the longer wood pieces to make it look like the inspiration. Instead, I put the wood branches on from largest to smallest and pulled them in closer together rather than spread in a circle. I don't know if I love this one. I love the idea of it, but I think the length of the bottom pieces are throwing off the proportions a bit. Here's a few of the Pinterest trees that I had seen for my inspiration, so let me know what you guys think. To close out duping through the holidays, Plaid has donated a box of goodies for one lucky winner. If you would like a chance to win these products, add the word Plaid at the end of your comments, and the winner will also be selected on Wednesday, December 1st. Well, that's all I got for you today, friends. Don't forget to answer my mystery question in the comments for a chance to win the Visa gift card, and I'll see you in the next one.